Let's wait for more people to come in this post game. Big win. That's a huge win. That's a huge win for the New York Knicks tonight. Huge win. They beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 105-103. Got dicey there at the end, but they held out, played some great defense. Great game out of a few guys. Great game out of Hardenstein. Great game out of especially Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson didn't really have a good shooting game, but, did some things there. Got the offense involved. Quentin Grimes had some timely threes, especially in that third quarter. But big win out of the New York Knicks, especially winning at home. These home games are very important for them to, overcome, man. They haven't been winning at home. And, the Cleveland Cavaliers are a good team. They're a top, 4 team in the East. What they're 29-20. What's their standings in the East? No, they're number 5 now in the East. Knicks are hovering around the 6th spot and the 7th spot. They're a game and a half behind the Miami Heat. No, now they're a game behind the Miami Heat. Excuse me. These standings haven't refreshed. So, yeah. Let me just tweet that we're live right now. Tweet it. All right, we live. All right, yeah. Isaiah Hardenstein, man, shout out to him, man. He's been catching this heat from a lot of Knicks fans, including myself, and he needed one of these games like this. Came out tonight and really freaking balled the hell out. Huge defensive stop there at the end of the game, and he was all over the ball in terms of he put both of his hands up. Didn't foul Donovan Mitchell. Looks like Donovan Mitchell re-aggravated his hamstring there, but we needed this win, guys. I mean, Julius Randle, big task. What up, man, in the chat? Yeah. Talk to them, Randall. Talk to them, Jew. Talk to them, Julius. 8 threes tonight, tying his career high of Julius Randle. On fuego pretty much the entire game. And look, at the beginning of this game, Knicks were good. They were good, and then Cleveland Cavaliers made the run, got up by as much as 8 points, and then, Knicks came back, much to do with the play of Julius Randle. I mean, 36 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 of 12 from 3. He only missed 4 3-point shots. Julius Randle pretty much willed the Knicks to a victory tonight. Big game out of him. And Barrett, one of those games for RJ Barrett tonight, but it's a good team win. Cleveland Cavaliers are a good team. We got to take these wins. Especially at home. We haven't been playing well at home. Donovan Mitchell tonight, 24 points on their side. Jared Allen was killing the Knicks all night in the pick and roll. Him and Mitchell and Garland, Mobley especially. But this is a huge win for the New York Knicks, and I'm just glad that we came out of the winning side. It got dicey there at the end. Pretty much, I was like, not one of these games again. Not one of these heartbreakers at home. We do not need to endure another one of these damn heartbreakers, right? Yeah, big task. You make a good point. I mean, the Knicks play the Cavs. They match up with them surprisingly really well. The Knicks are now 2-1, I believe, against the Cleveland Cavaliers this season, and the one loss was in Cleveland when Donovan Mitchell couldn't miss from downtown. That was the one loss that we had against Cleveland, and we beat them twice now in Madison Square Garden, and we matched up well against them. If it was to come to that, if the New York Knicks were to match up against the Cleveland Cavaliers in the playoff situation, I wouldn't count them out. Not saying the Cavs are not a good team. They are a good team, but the Knicks somehow match up well with them. Tyler in the chat, what up, man? We back. We back up. Big dubs. Big dubs at MSG. Big W in the Madison Square Garden. We are back. And we got some haters here in the chat. First round exit is your ceiling. Come on now. Ramon in the chat talking his ish. Nah, man, but you got to give the Knicks credit tonight, Julius Randle, especially Isaiah. I didn't think we had this in Isaiah Hartenstein. I really didn't. I mean, granted, he only scored 4 points, but 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, plus 11. I mean, Hartenstein was balling his ass out. Shout out to Hartenstein. Pretty much one of his best games as a Knick, if not his best game as a New York Knicks. There were reports that, maybe the Clippers may be trying to acquire him again, but there were reports also that Hartenstein wasn't being utilized properly. But, scratch all of that. Tonight was a big step in the right direction in terms of Isaiah Hartenstein. Good to see him get back on track. And along with Emmanuel Quickley, his defense down the stretch against Garland. And the Knicks played Donovan Mitchell surprisingly really well, but great players do what great players do, right? They score at will. And Donovan Mitchell's a superstar, and you can only do so much on defense. Superstars are going to put the ball in the basket no matter what. So Knicks played him really well throughout the whole entire game. He just hit some big 3-point shots there at the end of the game, and Knicks came out on top quickly with some lockdown defense. McBride does what he does, and the big catalyst tonight to me was Hartenstein. He really showed out, man. He really showed us something that I didn't think he would have in him. And a lot of Knicks fans, including myself, wanted him to be benched and be riding the pine. But, this was a big bounce back game for him. 4 points and 9 rebounds. Yeah, but, if you watch the game, Hartenstein was balling, Ramon. Come on now. He was balling defensively, and he was sharing the rock with his 4 assists. I mean, 9 rebounds, 4 assists for Hartenstein. This is like a step in the right direction. This is like a lot for him. So, this is what we wanted from him, along with his 3-point shooting, which we haven't seen all season from Hartenstein. So it's nice to see him bounce back off the bench, especially with Mitchell Robinson being out. Beginning of this game, we were like, oh, here we go again, man. But Knicks really locked down there. Third quarter of doom happened. The Cavs took a 8-point lead in that third quarter. Knicks came out flat. Then Randle hit some big shots. Obi Toppin, 10 minutes tonight. So, I mean, no matter what you want to say, how your feelings are about Obi Toppin, right now he comes in the game and he plays his heart out. He plays efficiently. He plays really well. And 10 minutes, we don't like to see it. But when you have Julius Randle balling the way he did tonight and Hartenstein was playing well, I mean, you're really not going to find the minutes for Obi Toppin. So I'm not going to complain about his minutes, but I do want to see him play more. But it's like beating a dead horse at this point. I don't think, as long as Randle is on this team, he's not going to get the extended minutes that we are hoping for. Brunson had a off game tonight. Ramon, 14, 5 of 13 from the field. He had an off game tonight, but he fourth quarter late in the game there, he did hit a semi big shot, and I want to say big shot, but over Mitchell. And I'm not worried about Jalen Brunson. He's the last person I'm worried about. So he can have these bad games, and then next game he's gonna come out and drop 30 plus points. So I'm not worried about JB. Yeah, Josh. What up, Josh? Yeah, Hartenstein had a big clutch putback dunk. Had a big defensive stop at the end of the game. Went straight up. Great no call from the referees. How many times this season has the referees called that against the Knicks? It would have been a foul call. But this referee crew that we had tonight was actually really good. I mean, there were veteran referees, been in the game for a while, and you could tell they weren't calling those ticky-tack fouls. So shout out to the referees tonight. I wish we can get those referees every single night because they pretty much, called a great game. So shout out to referees. It's rare for me to say shout out to the referees. Usually I'm like F the referees, but it's really rare for me to say shout out to the referees. But veteran crew, and you can see it at the end of the game, they weren't calling any of that BS. Ramon with a trade. Will the Knicks for Dame this summer? Will the Knicks get Dame this summer? Nah, Come on now. Dame is not leaving Portland. Come on, Knicks just beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, and you're talking about Damian Lillard to the New York Knicks this summer. Nah, but yeah, I mean, tonight was all about Julius Randle, 36 points, 38 minutes. Could have missed from three. Cavs didn't. Couldn't guard him. Couldn't guard him at all. 13 boards, 4 assists. Baller. Straight baller. Should be an all-star this season. We'll see if he can get in. Don't think he's going to get in with the fan voting. Hopefully the coaches can get him in. But Julius Randle on his ish tonight. And you could tell Donovan Mitchell wanted this game too at the end of the game. He was mad at few play calls and he was just angry. But you could tell Mitchell had a chip on his shoulder tonight. Wasn't efficient. Did hit some big shots though in the fourth quarter. But hey, Knicks are now 2-1 against this Cavs team. And in the East, 8 for 12 from deep is crazy, Tyler. 8 of 12 from deep is crazy. I mean, we know Julius Randle likes to shoot the three over his last 10 games. What is he shooting the three over his last 10 games? Yeah, he's actually been struggling from three over his last 10 games, 28%. But we know he loves to shoot it, and we know that he's worked on it this past summer. And tonight, 8 of them things, tying a career high. Baller. But yeah, let's look at these standings. Are the Knicks? I still think they're in the 7th spot, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're a game behind the Miami Heat. The Knicks are 26-23 on the season. Heat are 27-22. If the New York Knicks can please get in the top 6, I do not want to be in the play-in tournament. Because I don't. I want to be in the top 6, solidified playoff matchup. So we'll see. Trading deadline is here in a few weeks. We'll see if the Knicks make a move or want to make a move. But I think they should. I think they need to bolster up their bench. I think as much as Deuce McBride has played well this season, I do think they need a replacement for him. And we shall see. Because whether it's a big trade, small trade, look, what we've seen from this Knicks front office is that they're not going to make a big splash. They're not going to make a big trade. They're not going to do any of that. So I think it's going to be something small. Maybe it's Josh Richardson from San Antonio, or, maybe they dabble in the Eric Gordon sweepstakes. But, to me, they need some guy coming off the bench to solidify the bench unit. And we shall see. But, yeah, man, RJ Barrett. Let's talk about RJ Barrett tonight. RJ Barrett, this was one of those games where time and time again I was shaking my head at RJ. I'm like, talking to my TV screen, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? He did hit, especially the last play at the end of the game where he shot an air ball. I was like, bro, how can you do that? But not a great game from RJ. 5 of 12, 16 points, 4 rebounds. Yeah, not one of those games from RJ Barrett where you can say that, just not a great game from RJ Barrett. What is RJ doing these past 10 games? I know he's playing well, and he's playing consistently. He's hovering around the 20-point per game mark. So, he's improving. That's all we want to see from RJ, but just one of these games from RJ Barrett that, just make you shake your head, but I think he'll bounce back. He's bounced back plenty of times after he's had games like this. So RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson, I'm not worried about them. It's, I'm not at all. Josh in the chat, who would you prefer to match up with in the playoffs, Bucks or Sixers? You got to say the Sixers, but see, now I'm thinking about Embiid and the matchup with him. I know Embiid owns Mitchell Robinson. But at this point, you got to say the Sixers just because of the Bucks. They've been there before. They honestly are a better team than the Sixers. So that's tough, but I would say the Sixers. You don't want to match up with either of them, to be honest with you. But if I was to choose one, I think I would choose, I don't know. I'm like going back and forth between the Bucks and the Sixers. What do you guys? Tyler in the chat says the Sixers for sure. The thing about the Bucks is, the Knicks have actually played them well this season, although they've lost to them. but they played them well. And this season at the Garden, the Knicks were like, they were winning, they were up, and then it's just they pulled off one of those defensive lapses and let the Bucks back in the game. Then that's all she wrote. So, yeah, Tyler, Giannis is damn near unstoppable in the playoffs, but I'm going back and forth. I would say the Sixers. I would. Big Taz, the Warriors, man, they're not playing well. Warriors are in 10th place. They're not playing well at all. It's weird. Warriors won a championship last year and then back to the 10th place in the West. So, the NBA there's quite a bit of surprises in the NBA this season. You have the Hawks at number 8. The Bulls dropped down to number 10. Knicks are right there at number 7. Heat have been playing poorly in the beginning of the season, but now they're number 6. I knew the Heat were going to start to, get it together here, and they have been. So, who out of the top 6 right now do you see falling out? You got Boston, Philly, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Cleveland, and Miami. I mean, it's going to be tough for, I guess you could say Miami, but, Bam Adebayo's playing really well right now. Jimmy Butler's playing well. Miami's starting to click. So, who out of the top 6 do you see the Knicks overtake? I mean, I think the Knicks can give Miami a run for their money. That's if they make a move. I think the Knicks need to make a move here because Atlanta's on the Knicks' ass, and then Indiana's free falling. I don't believe in Indiana. And then Chicago, I don't believe in Chicago. I think they're gonna blow it up. So, yeah. If the Knicks can get that to 6 seed, man, I really want that 6 seed. So, yeah, really want that 6 seed. But yeah, I guess we can go back to the game. We can compare the team stats. What stood out to me tonight? Only 33 rebounds for the Knicks, 31 for their Cleveland Cavaliers. 42 and 41 rebounds. Free throw percentage, Knicks got to clean that up. Points off turnovers, 19. Goes to the Cavs. Knicks were turning the ball over tonight a lot. 17 turnovers for the Knicks. So, largest lead. Knicks led by 13 and, of course, gave it up. It's a trend here at Madison Square Garden, and it needs to end quickly. The Knicks are building these leads at home, and they're, letting the opponents come in the Garden and overtake the lead. And it's happening more and more in the third quarter. The third quarter of doom has been a trend here for the past few years. So, it's just unfortunate, but, I don't know what you can do to clean that up. I wish I could point my finger at it, but I think that has to do with coaching, and, you can say what you want about that. Yeah, Tyler, these games against Miami Heat are going to be huge. Really huge. Really, really huge. Have the Knicks played the Heat this year? I don't think so. No. They haven't played the Heat yet. Yeah, they play the Heat March 3rd. Then they play the Heat March 22nd. Then they play the Heat 3 times in March. So those games are going to be huge in March for the New York Knicks. And they start this tough stretch with a win. We said this tough stretch started with Cleveland. You got Boston on Thursday, national televised game at Brooklyn versus the Lakers. Then versus the Miami. I totally missed the Miami Heat game in February. So they play them in February once, and then 3 times in March. So they play the Miami. They have 4 games against Miami Heat left this season. If they can, somehow go 3-1 in those games, split it. Just don't lay an egg, because those games are going to be huge. They're going to come back and haunt you if you wind up losing those games, because right now the Heat are ahead of you in the standings, and we need those games. We need those wins. But yeah, next game at Boston. That's going to be tough. Boston's a great team. Then you have Brooklyn without KD, LA, Miami. Look, we took a look at this stretch, and we were pretty much wondering what the Knicks would do. And, I think I thought they couldn't beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they did, because we beat them last time at Madison Square Garden. And like I said, the Knicks match up well against them. So started off this stretch with a win, which is very important. Now you go to a hostile environment in Boston, which is going to be a tough matchup, and we shall see. Maybe the Knicks can shock us and take one in Boston, and we're due for a win against the Nets, man. I'll tell you that, man. I don't want to see no Nets fans on my damn Twitter or on this YouTube stream talking their crap, because what have the Knicks lost now? Like eight games in a row to the Brooklyn Nets, and we're due for a damn win. I mean, we need to beat the Nets for my sanity, for all Knicks fans' sanity. No KD. Go to Brooklyn and finally win, please. I mean, the streak has to end. It has to. I mean, we can't continue to lose these games to the team across the bridge. I mean, that shouldn't even be considered in New York. But yeah. Go to Brooklyn and win for my sanity, please. And go to Boston and put up a fight. If you can win, great. If you can't, look, not many people are going to think that you can win in Boston, but you never know, right? I mean, crazier things have happened in the NBA. So, yeah, man, we just have to play like we did tonight. Defensively, they locked down, man. And if iHeart can, build off of this and build his confidence off of this, and look, Randall's not going to hit 8 threes every game. I know that. But he was a big part of why the Knicks won. And Randall has been a huge part of why the Knicks have won a lot of games this season. I mean, this time it was Julius Randle. Before, it has been Jalen Brunson. Jalen. But yeah, when the Knicks were winning, 8 out of the last 9 games, it was Jalen Brunson, right? And now, tonight, Julius Randle, 36 points, 8 3-pointers, tied in a career high. Shout out to Julius Randle, man. Really having a bounce back year, doing it all, balling his ass out. And he's doing it without the braids. Have you noticed that? Last year or 2 years ago was, every time Julius Randle got his braids did, he bald. But now it's like opposite, That's just a little observation that I've noticed. It's something like stupid, but yeah. Yeah. Let's take a look at the timeline. Obi Toppin. Yeah, man. What do we think about Obi Toppin, chat? 11 points, 3 rebounds, 4 6, only 10 minutes. What is his future? I'm starting to get concerned here. I'm starting to get concerned that maybe I suggested that the Knicks do him a solid and trade him because they planted their flag on Randall, Brunson, Barrett. Once you plant your flag on Randall, you're not going to play Obi Toppin. Tom Thibodeau refuses, unless there's a coaching change, Tom Thibodeau refuses to play Julius Randle and Obi Toppin together. So I don't see him playing extended minutes. It's been like this since he's been in the league. So I think the Knicks should try. This is not going to be a very popular take, but do him a solid, maybe trade him, package him for a first, and go pick up another piece coming off the bench. Because, yeah, Tyler, I agree with you, man. They got to trade him. I do. They got to trade him. As painful as it sounds, as painful as it is for me to have those words come out of my mouth, yeah, there's just no room for him on the team. Last game was a disgrace against the Raptors where he was balling out and they only played him 11 minutes. Tonight, playing really well. He's starting to come into his own since that knee injury. 10 minutes, 11 points, 3 rebounds. I think in 1 minute of action tonight, he had like 5 points. He hit a 3. I mean, he comes in the game knowing that he's going to get subbed out quickly. And, I just think that they need to do him a solid. And, it's unfortunate because we don't know the true potential of Obi Toppin. I don't think we're going to know the true potential of him on the New York Knicks. I really don't. And whether or not you can say that, they ruined him, I wouldn't go as far to say that, because he can go somewhere to another situation and blossom. And, but, right now he's an asset. And I think since the Knicks have chosen their direction, they've chosen the direction they want to go. everyone's saying pick a direction, play the youth or play. They've picked the direction. They've paid Barrett, they've paid Brunson, they've paid Randall. Their cap space is tied up. Quickly he's going to stay. He's not going anywhere. Grimes seems like he's solidified himself in the rotation. Don't think he's going anywhere either. The odd man out is Obi. And I think right deal comes along. Team's going to take a chance on him, and the Knicks are going to strike. They should strike. And we'll be rooting for him. But until then, he's still on the Knicks. We got to enjoy him. Shout out to Obi, man. Really feel for him. True professional. Hasn't complained one bit about his playing time. Haven't heard any leaks come out of his camp at all. And homegrown player. So it's going to suck to see him go. I mean, maybe he won't. Maybe he stays. But, I think the Knicks need to explore it at least. Yeah, you bring up a good point, Tyler. Yeah. Keep in mind that he is in year 3, but he was an old rookie. He's older than R.J. Barrett and Cam Reddish. Yeah. Obi Toppin is, how old? What is he, 25? 24. He turns 25 next in 2 months. Yeah, man. R.J. Barrett's 22. Obi's 24. Randall's 28. So, what the Knicks do with Cam Reddish, what they do with Obi, I think the Knicks have asked for 2 second rounds for Cam. We can go to Cam Reddish, but the Lakers gave up 3 second round picks for Hachimura, which I think is a crazy underpay. I don't understand why the Wizards would do that deal, but I don't think the Knicks are going to get 2 second rounds picks for Cam Reddish. It's sort of like the Lakers set the market with the 3 second round picks for Hachimura, and teams are going to be like, look, we're not giving you 2 second rounds for Reddish, who's not even playing right now. So I don't know what the Knicks get for Reddish. I really don't. They should have traded him a long time ago if they knew that he wasn't in their plans. But, of course, they waited till he rotted on the bench, and right now he has no value whatsoever. So we shall see what they get from him. I don't know. Maybe it's a second round pick and that's it. I don't know. We shall see. But it's going to be interesting what this front office comes up with. It's going to be very interesting. Yeah, man. So big win for the New York Knicks tonight after, losing a few games there in a row. They bounce back in Madison Square Garden, pick up a big victory against a good team. Cleveland Cavaliers are a good team. So, great game out of Hartenstein, great game out of Julius Randle. Barrett, not so much. Brunson, off game out of Brunson. Just looked out of it all night long. But they'll bounce back. Hopefully the Knicks can build off this win. Tough game against the Boston Celtics on Thursday. We'll see if they come out and with intensity. If they need to hit the Boston Celtics in the mouth. And hopefully they can win in Boston. That'll be a great win for us. But great game. Gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Be back on Thursday. Appreciate you guys in the chat as always. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate you guys. Tyler, Ramon, Josh, all you guys in the chat tonight. Big task. Always supporting. Appreciate it as always. But yeah, man, as always, it's Let's Go Knicks, and hopefully we can win in Beantown, and then hopefully we can finally beat the damn Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn. That'll be nice, because tired of the Brooklyn Nets fans talking shit. I mean, the few fans that they are. So we shall see. Appreciate you guys as always. Have a good night. And as always, let's go Knicks. Peace.